Hi, this is Lauren Scott, and for this first discussion post, after completing the case study project identity workshop, it actually was pretty telling about kind of how I rank certain identities within my life. Some of the ones that probably stood out on the top were maybe citizenship, age, gender, race, education. So after kind of evaluating that and reading through some of the readings, the one that I think I would like to focus on for the case study project is actually education, and more specifically how I identify as a first generation college student. And I think I chose that one for maybe a couple different reasons. Being in higher education and especially in admissions, that's an identity that I see quite often and I can always relate to with particular students. And after reading some of the College Students in the United States book, the Wren and Reason book, in the very first chapter that talks about a lot of the inconsistencies with this particular kind of identity group. So after doing this case study, some of the things that maybe I hope to find, I'd like to see if there's maybe a common definition of what first generation college students are. The book talks a lot about how maybe there's not a lot of research done just because there are inconsistencies in definitions. So maybe on data collection, is there a consistent definition that maybe I see? So that would be one thing that I would hope to find. I'd also like to see if there is a common experience that first generation college students have. The book talks about, maybe they are more likely to get into a 2-year school, or they have difficulty transitioning into college, or they're less likely to engage in maybe academic support services. So I'd like to see if maybe those trends are true, or those experiences are true, or really even if there are certain myths to being a first generation college student. Maybe if there are inconsistencies in that they're maybe reporting or the way that students identify, maybe there's also myths to being a first generation student. So that's probably some of the population that I would choose to do this particular project on, and maybe why I chose to do that. So I'm curious to see if this is going to be more difficult than I think. Based on some of the reading so far, it looks like it's not a well-studied group. So I'm hoping I'm not putting myself in too big of a category here for data collection. But it is a category that I'm very interested in, being a first-generation college student myself. So I'm hoping that this will be something that I can pursue a little bit further. So looking forward to hearing what everyone else, how everyone else's identity worksheets turned out, and maybe how they chose to do their project. Thanks.